Cloudcast Media. Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media. You're listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show. We are thrilled to have in the studio with us today Curt Brooker. He's the director of ArtWalk San Diego. How you doing there, Curt?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
Oh, can't wait to hear all about the cool things that you folks are doing, joined by my co-host, Kristen Fogel. She is the executive director of San Diego Writers, Inc., celebrating their 20th anniversary this year. Kristen, how you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Let us get started with you. You have a question for Curt?
Yeah, let's just talk a little bit about what ArtWalk is.
Well, ArtWalk is it's a festival, obviously. We have 3 festivals throughout the year. Coming up in September, though, in just over a week, is our ArtWalk Carlsbad.
Okay.
So, we have over 150 artists that come, and they're all curated, all different types of medium. And, it's just great. It's a fun show. And, we're looking forward to it.
Very cool. Yeah. I know ArtWalk because of Liberty Station, and my office has been down there for the last decade. So I'm always excited when you guys are doing that. So very cool. And so it's free for people to attend.
Yeah. It's free to attend.
Okay.
And there's we're right there on Armada Drive, just above the flower fields in Carlsbad.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And there's this large office, park there with lots of parking, which is key.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anything you do here is, if there's parking, then people come. So
that's great.
Yeah, no, it's plenty of parking. It's free to attend. We have even food. There's live music. There's Kids Walk, which is free activities for kids.
Okay.
And, try to see if you have a budding artist on your hands.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's an all-day sort of thing?
Pretty much all day.
Okay.
Yeah. We're there all day, of course.
Nice.
But what time is it actually?
11 a.m.
Okay.
And goes to, on Saturday, goes to 6. And then on Sunday, it's 10 to 5. 10
to 5, right. And then how much square acreage or whatever it is that takes out of Carlsbad?
Well, it's on the Armada Drive, so it's like in Little Italy with Mission Fed ArtWalk.
Right.
It's 16 blocks.
Right.
It's huge.
Wow.
Right.
But it boils down to probably I would say 6 or 7 blocks.
Right, 6 or 7 blocks. Right.
Yeah.
Now, is it on the website now that all of the different artists will be performing or will be showing their wares?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So everybody, all the artists are displayed on the website, which is, artwalksandiego.org. And then you click on Carlsbad and it highlights all the different artists that are on there. Everybody's curated, so you have to apply, you have to showcase all your work for us to judge and make sure that it's quality. It's not like a street fair. This is a a high-end art show.
Right.
And, it's all original art too. So that's the biggest key is you actually get to come meet the artists and kind of see what inspires them. What drives them? Why do they do that type of art? And you can ask them these questions yourselves and talk to them directly, and then hopefully bring something home with you.
Yeah, I'm curious too. Like, how many of the artists does it seem like are quote unquote repeat offenders, have been there in the past, or how many kind of new people are you getting into the mix?
Yeah, so we definitely have a lot of artists that do all of our shows.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I would probably say a percentage of probably around, I would say 60% do all of our shows and continually do it annually. Mm-hmm. But there's definitely new artists each year. Mm-hmm. And artists that do it's basically a circuit of they travel through the country and do different shows throughout. And then if it just so happens that they're in Southern California and the show's happening, then they join our show that time.
Very cool. Yeah, it seems like it would be nice for collectors too, to go and see the same artists over and over again and see what the new stuff that they're producing and everything, as well as, see new artists as well.
Are they offering any seminars or symposiums, or is it pretty much just showing the artwork?
It's kind of just showing the artwork.
Okay, so it's not like this is how you make a, origami or something like that.
No, we have interactive art, that happens that people can get involved with.
Oh, really?
Since we're right there at the flower fields, we are going to do kind of like a mosaic piece on the ground that you're actually going to take like flower petals and create a piece over the weekend. Mm-hmm. And so everybody can get their petal in and put it in there, and at the end of the weekend, all of a sudden it's going to display this amazing image. But
nice.
For the artists themselves, like we really do look for them to help promote, and they have followers too, so they're inviting all their people that are repeat buyers, or just they know that they're maybe interested in some of their work, that they come out too, and maybe this is the time. You never know when you're ready to purchase a piece.
No, you're 100% correct. Are there going to be performers too? Is there music going on as well?
Yep, live music. We have 2 stages.
Okay,
and it's a true festival,
right?
And it's a lot that gets put into it, but live street food. Well, not live street food.
Good street food.
Good street food. Yeah.
Yeah.
Street food, and then all that too. So it's it's definitely come out and make a day of it. Well, this year we're partnering with Legoland, and
nice.
There's actually a promotion that you have to come to ArtWalk to get kind of a deal to come back to Legoland later on in the year. So
nice.
We're excited about that too.
Yeah, that's great. We're chatting with Curt Brooker. He's the director of ArtWalk San Diego, talking about ArtWalk Carlsbad, September 21st and the 22nd. We're going to talk about Bella Vita Fest, if I pronounced that correctly. That's coming up in October as well. I'm Drew Schlosberg, and you're listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show. We are the nation's longest running community podcast, now in our 18th year, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union for 6 decades, doing great things for people living in San Diego County. Joined by my co-host, Kristen Fogel, Executive Director of San Diego Writers, Inc. Getting back to the Carlsbad gig in this aspect of it, is this a place where sometimes you actually find new artists that stumble upon this, that, boy, I need to exhibit in this next year or whatever? Does that happen quite a bit?
It does. We have people come, join us through the year, or just as a participant, and they'll come in and be like, well, I'm an artist too. How do I apply? Or what do I need to do to, get qualified to be in the show for next year? And there's all kinds of different things that we look for too. Is if you've shown in the past and at different shows, like what your booth looks like, obviously your art. What your displays look like. We want everyone to be successful and sell. That's why we really do ArtWalk is to create spaces for these artists to do their livelihood and sell and be profitable. So.
Very cool. Yeah, when we come back from break, I know Kristen's going to ask you about the Bella Vita Fest on October 19th through the 20th. Find out where that takes place and all that business. And also want to save some time and come right from break. It's a favorite topic of ours on our Spotlight show. We love talking about careers. One of the groups that we work with pretty closely is Classroom of the Future Foundation. It's all about careers, And it's amazing how when you go, wow, how many careers are there in art? You'd be surprised how many careers there are in art, exactly, besides the artists themselves doing it. So maybe we can talk a little bit about that as well. How's that sound?
Sounds great.
We're going to be right back with Curt Brooker, Director of ArtWalk San Diego. I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media. We'll be right back after this brief message.
When you do your banking with Mission Fed, you get great rates on auto and home loans. That's good for you, but something good also happens for a lot of other people. We're not for profit, so we put money back into the community to help lots of great nonprofits to keep San Diego strong. So you're not just getting something good, you're doing something good. Come to Mission Fed. It's banking that's good for all.
Brand amplification is the DNA of Cloudcast Media, and our code is the powerful blending of sound, voice, and storytelling to lift local brands and their communities. Whether it is our Brandcast, Schoolcast, or Causecast platforms, the unifying ethos is all about this community, the one you call home. If you dare to dream and want to explore the brand amplification of Cloudcast, a national leader in local podcasting and other Winfluence strategies, please visit us at cloudcast.us.
I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media. You're listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show. We are brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union for 6 decades, doing great things in San Diego County for folks who live here. Joined by my co-host, Kristen Fogel. She's the Exec Director of San Diego Writers, Inc., chatting with Curt Brooker, Director of ArtWalk San Diego, and shouting out ArtWalk Carlsbad, September 21st and 22nd. But you're going to ask Curt about another art walk coming up.
I am. Let's talk about Bella Vita Fest. And is this new? How many years has it been going? I haven't heard of it, but that's not saying much. So, tell me more.
No, absolutely. Bella Vita Fest is new. It's our second year.
Okay.
So,
phew. Okay.
It is in Little Italy, though, and we're right down on India Street. We take over India Street again. I don't know if you remember, but years ago, Little Italy used to have an event called Festa.
Yes,
and it was
absolutely
a really large Italian-themed festival. We used to manage that for the association, and one of the biggest pieces of that, or most well-known piece of Festa, was the chalk art on the streets. Everyone still comes to literally in Mission Fed Art Walk and asks about where's the chalk, where's the chalk. So for years we were like, we need to bring chalk back.
Yeah,
and so now that's what we're doing. That is what Bella Vita Fest is. So it's really kind of a chalk art festival on the street, live demonstration of artists up and down India Street and actually creating, art on the street, which is, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how they do it, but it comes to life so well, and it's just so amazing to see it come together. But that's what it is. So it's you're able to come. It's obviously there's Italian vendors and markets, and then the chalk on the street, live music again, food, of course, in Little Italy, can't go wrong there. And then we also have, it's a Italian wine piece of that too. So we have partnerships that we have Italian wine that they can buy a ticket to and sample different Italian wines that are throughout the region that are actually imported in from Italy.
Right, so it's going to be, on India Street, correct? Is that correct? Yeah. And then surrounding neighbor, is it going to be as big as ArtWalk?
Not quite as big, no. So it runs basically from date to about, let's see, grape.
Grape, right? Yeah. Exactly. And then, because I remember when the festival was out there, and then people were doing the chalk things, which is phenomenal. So are they going to be doing them? What part of the festival? Where are they going to be doing the chalk?
Right on India Street. So underneath the sign, basically.
So on the sidewalk or in the street?
No, in the street.
Oh, my goodness.
Cool.
How do you make sure you don't walk on it, for God's sake?
I know, right?
Yeah. So, how many different types of drawings are going to be there, or artists are going to be doing that part?
We're going to have close to 50 artists up and down India Street. Like I said, the Little Italy sign, the iconic sign, it's right underneath that, runs all the way down the street. And, with that art, it's different from our art walk shows, right? Because the artists, they come in, they put up their booths, they sell their art. But these artists, they come in, they do these amazing works right on the street. There's nothing to sell or anything like that. They just do it for people to enjoy and to watch them actually creating throughout the weekend.
Right.
And usually around halfway through the day on Sunday, they're completing the design. So it's amazing to see it all come together. And then unfortunately Sunday night, we have to come through there and
spray wash
it all the way. But it's
awful.
kind of like, it's kind of neat in the same way though, because it's like you can start new and create something new every time you do it. It's not something that's permanent. It's something that's just inspired and that weekend, and you get to see it, and then it goes away.
And are we like a chalk artist hub, or a lot of people coming from out of town?
There's actually a lot of chalk art festivals throughout the country, but not here in Southern California. Okay. So this is really we're trying to grow into a destination for a lot of
So there's
artists.
like a chalk art circuit as well. It's so fascinating. That's amazing.
Yeah.
I want to go on the chalk art circuit.
Yeah, well, I think you do very well. But is it only focused on the Italian neighborhoods or not necessarily?
We usually theme it a little bit, but it's always is, it falls in October, so that's the Town Heritage Month. And Little Italy, obviously, we're going to have kind of Italian themes to it.
Gotcha. Before we talk about ArtReach San Diego, the nonprofit that's near and dear to your heart on this, and the beneficiary of these art walks and all that, we talked a little bit about the careers in art. Talk about that. There's a ton of careers in art, is there not?
There is. I mean, just talking about myself, I can't do any art. Well, I can't paint. I can barely take a picture, right? So.
Yeah. Well, I'm with you. My mom was an artist, and I could barely do. I failed stick figure 101, and she did oils, and she had her own gallery in L.A. and all that. None of it translated to me, for God's sake. But to the point, I mean, you produce, so manage. Talk about that.
I'm operations. That's my forte, right? So, I love planning and pulling something together, seeing it come together, and then taking it away and returning like Little Italy neighborhood back to where exactly how it was before, like we weren't even there, So that's the fun part that I really enjoy. I love the operations piece of it. And, that's a career that you would never think that, you think of ArtWalk as all artists or something like that, but there's tons of different careers and different ways that you can get involved. But, you don't need to be able to like paint some paint strokes or anything like that.
Well, and the reason why I bring this up, and again, something that's near and dear to our heart, is this whole focus on careers and pathways and all that business. And, the example I use all the time, I worked for the Union Tribune, I ran community and public relations for 20 years. But at its heyday, we had like 2,400 employees. Only 1/7 or 1/8 were writers. What do you mean? I go, the people who write the stories are a very small percentage of. There's people that are selling the paper, marketing the paper, driving the paper, financing. And I said, and I think what's great for students to know that I love art, but I stink at it. But I want to be in the field. Yeah. Well, become an operations guy. Yeah. And you really can't talk about that stuff enough, or the field that, certainly, Kristen is in, writing and all that business, but she's also, a playwright and a performer. But if you don't have those skill sets, you can certainly get into that field. So,
I mean, our team is amazing. Yeah. Like we have just, we're a small organization. Yeah. There's 5 of us. Yeah. But each one of us has a different angle of, everyone loves art, just like you said.
That's right.
I love art too, but it's Sean who does our artist relations, and she works with all the artists to book them and to get them all the information to get them ready, and so they're well informed. And then, Jacob's also on our operations side. Hannah's on operations and his food, all the bookings for the food, and puts in placements and just the maps that have to go involved to get with working with the city and the permitting and all that. There's so much to do. And it takes a team to do it.
Right, and some know-how in this. We're chatting with Curt Brooker, director of ArtWalk San Diego, talking about a couple of their big events coming up. ArtWalk Carlsbad, September 21st to the 22nd, and Bella Vita Fest, October the 19th to the 20th. That one will be in Little Italy, and ArtWalk Carlsbad. Take a guess where that'll be. So that'll be up in Carlsbad. I'm Drew Schlosberg. You're listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight in the Community Show, nation's longest-running community podcast, now in our 20th year, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union. 6 decades involved in so many things, including art. They're great partners of yours, Curt. Talk a few minutes about Art San Diego. What's that all about? The nonprofit.
ArtReach.
So ArtReach,
I'm sorry.
Yeah, ArtReach is a longtime partner. I took over ArtWalk from Sandy Cottrell.
Right.
And I believe you know.
Yes,
and,
yes.
Her and her sister Judy actually formed ArtReach. I can't remember how many years ago. But, it's basically ArtReach. What it does is it brings art classes back to elementary schools that don't have those programs anymore because of funding cuts and things like that. So it's such an amazing program. I have young kids that are going through a school like that, and I feel like it is such an important part of their lives to be able to enhance that art piece of it or the creativity piece of it. So they do amazing work on raising funds to be able to bring those classes, and they bring the materials, they bring the teachers, they do everything for these schools. And they're able to, have these kids go through our class again, which is important.
Very cool.
Well, as Kristen has heard me say way too many times. And I was very fortunate to work for San Diego Unified a zillion years ago. And I worked very closely with the VAPA folks. And I also wrote curriculum when I was at San Diego Unified, still have a curriculum business. And of course, and Kristen's heard this said many times, whether you're in art or you're in music or performing arts and all that business, you can teach every single content, math, science, language arts, physics, operations, finance, through art and music and that aspect of it. So, I'm glad to see there was some movement to get more money back into the schools with this. The absolute area you should never be cutting from the curriculum is visual performing arts. That should be the very last thing you do in this area. And I think with ArtReach San Diego and so forth, we all know that art is an equalizer. It is a connector. It's a collaborator. It gets back that DNA that we've lost when it comes to empathy, and I think it's fantastic. Before we end the interview here, how closely do you work with the schools?
Well, we're two different organizations.
Right.
So when ArtWalk works with the schools, it's definitely working with, say, with Bella Vita.
Right.
We have different schools that are coming out to actually do chalk art squares. So
cool.
they're they take their classes and they kind of come up with the project and the theme and everything, and the kids will come out and actually do the art on the street too.
Awesome.
Right. I think I want to take a class on that. What do you think about that?
I think that would be super fun. There are classes on it, actually. Yeah, we'll sidebar afterwards.
Okay, we'll sidebar after that over there.
Just amazing how they grit it out and then they put it all together, and it's all like piece by piece. It's almost like chalk to number type of thing.
So if people want to know more about ArtWalk Carlsbad or Bella Vita Fest, how do they get a hold of you? How do they go to the website?
Yeah, the best is the website, obviously. You just go to artwalksandiego.org, and all the information's there. One last thing I just want to point into for Bella Vita is our first year last year. It was actually a ticketed event, just like we were talking about. We actually we fund the artists to come in from all across the country to do the chalk art. But this year, we wanted to kind of open it up to everybody and make sure that it's a free event again. Now there is so it's free to come see all the chalk on Little Italy in India Street, but there is that wine component that you can add on tickets to do the tasting, but the chalk piece now is free for everyone to attend.
Very cool. Duly noted. I have a 5-year-old who loves Mary Poppins and all the chalk in there, so we will be there.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Curt, thank you so much. Wishing you nothing but great success. Maybe I'll even see you up at a couple of these things over here. So,
I'd love to see you there.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, Curt Brooker, he is the director of ArtWalk San Diego, talking about ArtWalk up in Carlsbad and also Bella Vita Fest in Little Italy. I'm Drew Schlosberg. You've been listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show. We are the nation's longest running community podcast, now in our 18th year, brought to you by the fine folks of Mission Fed Credit Union for 6 decades, just doing great things for people living in San Diego County. We hope you enjoyed the show.
You've been listening to an episode of Drew Schlosberg's Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego community. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
Cloudcast Media.